Hello, and welcome to the Temple of Enlightenment International Spiritual Center. My name is Issachar Bey, and I want to thank all of you for tuning in. Thank you so much for your support and your consistency with tuning in every week for a new teaching, a new level of inspiration, a new level of motivation. If this is your first time being with us, could you please go ahead and hit the like button? Let us know what city, what state, what country you're listening from. I also want to send much love and light to those in the United States who have been affected by this winter storm. I know it's not easy. I know it can put some of us in a difficult predicament, but we want to send much love and light to all of you. Hope that everybody's warm, safe, and everybody is in good standing. And so we want to say much love and light to all. Um, I want to thank all of you for also your continued donations. Those of you that have been, checking in with us and sowing seeds and donating to the ministry. We want to thank all of you, and we want to say thank you to everybody who has uh, been consistent in helping us and be consistent with coming in every week. We're here every week, same place, same time. Um, I want to also thank everybody for those of you who have taken the time to schedule a consultation. Um, I feel like we are really getting ourselves in a position to win. A lot of you are in a much better place after the consultation because now you have a broader, you have more of an inclined or more of a direct understanding of what does 2026 mean for me. What are some of the things that I need to do? What are some of the things that I need? Where do I need to position myself at? Um, some of you have even said this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be, and we've put together the blueprint to get you there. And so we are extremely excited about everybody. Wishing everybody a great time in this new year. As you get ready to move into our spiritual mind treatment, everybody get a quiet position. Um, this is a great time for us to just allow ourselves to remove all noise, to move into quietness and stillness, a place of understanding, a place of elevation, that we can elevate and open our spiritual ears and our spiritual eyes so that we can hear what the Spirit is saying. Go ahead and take a deep breath, inhale and exhale. Once again, take a deep breath and inhale and exhale. Again, take a deep breath and inhale and exhale. There is one infinite presence, one intelligence, one power, one source of all life, supply, and abundance. That presence is everywhere active, everywhere available, and forever expressing itself as increase. I recognize that all wealth begins in consciousness. Money is not separate from spirit, it is spirit in motion. Because the source is unlimited, supply is unlimited, because divine order governs all things. Nothing good can be withheld from me. I release every belief in lack, struggle, delay, or unworthiness. I release fear, pressure, and doubt. I affirm now I am safe with increase. I am calm in expansion. I am grounded in responsibility. I am prepared to receive. As my awareness expands, my capacity expands. As my identity elevates, opportunity responds. I do not chase wealth. I align with it. I do not force supply. I allow circulation. The wealth I seek is not lost. It is responding to my becoming. I stand open, receptive, and ready. I am a clear channel for divine abundance. And with gratitude, I accept this truth as established now. It is done, it is unfolding, And so it is. I want to thank all of you once again for tuning in. Once again, if you can, go ahead and hit the like button. What we want to do is we are in our series. We're in a great series, and starting on this year. And today I want to talk from the subject, the wealth you seek is seeking you. One of the things that I find very fascinating is when you talk about wealth. When I mention the word wealth, a lot of times people separate themselves from it. If I walk up to a person and say, "Hey, let's talk about wealth," they automatically say, "Oh, well, you mean people like Jeff Bezos, Oprah Winfrey, Elon Musk, or Bill Gates? Why not you? Why can't, when we talk about wealth, you be included in the conversation?" I think that our perspective, also our identity, the Spirit has really been working with me regarding this identity, because money represents money. It chases, it comes after, it respects identity. Who do you identify as? When we talk about wealth, a lot of people separate themselves from wealth. They don't identify as wealth. And so, I want to talk about when the wealth that you seek is seeking you. Can you believe that? Everybody listening to me now, the money that you seek, the abundance that you seek, the wealth you seek, all this time, the very thing that you've been wanting, it's been wanting you. Well, Issachar, if that's true, then what's happening? Why haven't I received it? Because you haven't shifted into the identity of it. Oh man, this is good. You haven't shifted you and identified this wealth. You're still separating yourself from it. Money is not missing, it's waiting. I said this a couple of weeks ago that money never leaves the earth. When you pass away and your loved ones have the funerals and they do all this stuff, money does not leave the earth. It doesn't evaporate. It doesn't go missing. It's still there. So if money is still here on the earth, there's a unlimited supply of it. What you have to now do is figure out a way of how to manifest the amount of money that you want, because money never leaves. There's no shortage. Most people believe that they are chasing wealth. Wealth to me is the ability to finance one's dreams. Meaning that whatever I'm dreaming, whatever I want to do in life, whatever I want to succeed, whatever I want to manifest, I can financially do that. That's my definition of wealth. Wealth is to finance one's dreams. To me, that would be my definition of a person who's wealthy. Um, Most people believe that money is outside of them, in banks, jobs, clients, markets, algorithms, and timing. But wealth never has been hiding from you. It has been observing you. Wealth has been observing you. Money is consciousness with movement. Reverend Ike says that money is God in action. The late great Reverend Ike says money is God in action. And consciousness does not move towards desire, it moves towards capacity. This is a revelation that changes everything. The wealth you seek is seeking the version of you who can hold it. The wealth you seek is seeking the version of you who can hold it. The version of you who can hold it. Wealth is seeking you. The very thing that you're looking for, the very thing that you're seeking for, is seeking you. But you have to shift into that identity. Not the hopeful you, not the praying you, not the wishing you, the expanded you. Yeah. I don't want to hope and wish and think and wonder. I need to be in the know. I need to be in the identity of this is what I am, this is what I'm doing. When you come and get a consultation with me, we shift automatically into what the year holds for you, where you are, who you are, um, and we try to get you into a real open mindedness level of self awareness, of understanding who you are, and really moving into that direction. Because I think that, in these days and times in the world, as we move into uh, this year of 2026, a lot of things are going to transpire. A lot of things are going to happen outside of our control. And I think that we need to make sure and understand that we are in the right place at the right time. We're on the right path and so forth. That's why I always say, ladies and gentlemen, whoever's in your ear will determine your year. I'm going to say that again. Whoever is in your ear will determine your year. Money does not respond to words. Ladies and gentlemen, it responds to identity. Who do you identify as? Do you identify as rich, successful? Do you identify as wealthy? Who do you identify as? We live in a day and time now where people identify as many different things. But who do you identify as? You don't attract money. You authorize it. You cannot be moral and broke. You can be spiritual and struggling because money is not impressed by goodness. Money responds to structure, self care, nervous system safety, energetic containment. If increase overwhelms you emotionally, money cannot stay. If responsibility scares you, wealth will circle but not land. When it talks about this, when I mention things like this, you have to understand that everything happens in consciousness. Consciousness is our only reality. And so when when I say the wealth you seek is seeking you, the wealth you're seeking, once you no longer seek it and become it, it shows up as a mirror. We're walking mirrors. So everything that you are going after, everything that you want out of life is actually a reflection of the same thing coming back at you. But it never really happens or never really comes into the fulfillment of things until you move into a place of identity. And you're going to hear me talk about this because this identity factor is it's the key. It is the major key. If your identity collapses under pressure, money passes you by. Money is not cruel, it is precise. Money is not a reward, it's a mirror. Money reflects how you see yourself, how you speak for yourself, how you decide, how you tolerate chaos, how you value your time. People say people say all the time, I need more money. No, you need a larger self concept because money expands whatever identity receives it. We talked about this a few weeks ago that money magnifies who you are. So if you are the kind of person who is selfish, um, conniving, evil, money will expand that. If you're a person that's loving, generous, kind, money will expand that, and it will magnify who you really are. And people say all the time, when I get money, I'm going to do this, and when I get money, I'm going to do that. No, no, no. You do it now, because if you're waiting to get the money to do it, money is just going to and it's just going to magnify who you are. If you're not doing it before you got the money, then you're not going to do it after you get the money. Money is just going to magnify who you really are. And so I want you to get an understanding of this and understand that money is a tool. Now, one of the things that I love is that money, listen to this, is the easiest thing to replace. Money, yes. Everybody listening to me, you've had money, you spend it, you got it back. You've had money, you may have spent it on something that wasn't good, or you may have felt like you wasted money, but you weren't able to get it back. The one thing we can't get back, ladies and gentlemen, is time. We can't get the time back. So money is the easiest thing to replace. And I think that when we start really shifting our minds to what what it means to have a wealth consciousness, I think it really unravels our lives and really puts us in a great place, in a great position in life. Because when you start thinking it like this and you start moving your consciousness to this level, everything in your life begins to change, because everything that's attached to you now has to change, because you're changing your consciousness. Your consciousness is being elevated. It's being elevated. And once your consciousness is elevated, it can never go back to its original size. I think that at the Enlightenment Center, what we try to do is, yes, we try to help you become the best version of yourself, but we also want to expand you. We also want to stretch you. We also want you to uh, walk away feeling uncomfortable, because you realize, like, oh man, I got work to do. I got some things I need to take care of, because I'm not where I need to be, or I'm not where I want to be. But you can get there. When people come to me with consultations, I tell them, don't beat yourself up. Everything happens in divine timing. You know, um, Once we are aware of things, once we have knowledge of things, we can make those changes, and we can get ourselves on the right path, moving in the right direction. And so I think it's inevitable that we stay connected. If scarcity lives in you, money amplifies fear. And if ascendancy lives in you, money amplifies power. People people will say, I want money, I need money. I want to know why wanting money repels it. Desperation signals instability. You know, just to give you an idea, I had a couple of lawsuits I was dealing with the credit bureaus, and you know, I've been dealing with this for a while, and I kind of wanted it to be over. But on the other hand, if I went in and gave an offer, and you know, just looked like I was desperate and took anything, it would definitely let them know, and they would say, oh, he's unstable. We got him, because he's so desperate that we can give him anything, we can tell him anything, we can do anything. So I think that when you get an understanding of all of these kind of things, and really look at how life unfolds, you really understand that everything happens in the mind. When people come to me and say, hey, Issachar, my life is over, everything is falling apart, it automatically lets me know that things have fallen apart in your mind, because you are your mind. Whenever you see the word man and woman, You can replace it with mind, M-I-N-D, mind, because everybody is a mind. Nothing happens in your life that doesn't first happen in the mind. The confusion is in your mind. The lack, loss, limitation is in your mind. The betrayal is in your mind. And so when people come to me and say, "Hey, my life is over, man. Everything is falling apart. My marriage, my family," and the first thing I say was, "Let's get your mind together, because once I get your mind together, everything else will fall back in place." It's all in the mind, ladies and gentlemen. Everything is mind. Your money, your wealth, your prosperity, your success. Everything is mind. Need says, "I cannot hold you." Money moves towards calm. Wealth seeks grounded people. That is why frantic manifestation fails. Money is attracted to decisiveness, clarity, containment, order. The wealth you seek is not asking, "Do you want me?" It's asking, "Can you manage me?" Money is designed for currency. It's designed to move. Um, you know, as you move into this money consciousness, I want you to give me some feedback this week. Let me know how your life has been changing since you've been operating in this money consciousness. Because I know for me, I've been, looking at, I've been, you know, I watch a lot of YouTube. I'll probably watch more YouTube than anything, 90%. And on my algorithms of YouTube, it seems that since we are in the money consciousness, everything money's been coming up on my timeline, from stocks, brokerage accounts, annuities, all kind of stuff. And you can just go in and research it and begin to study. And, Wall Street Trapper is somebody who I had followed a long time. And I've really just reconnected back with him. Earn Your Leisure, when you get into the money consciousness, you'll see money coming from everywhere. You start learning about money. You start learning what to do with money. You start learning how to handle money. And just like I just said a few minutes ago, you learn how to manage it. So when you operate in this consciousness, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you'll start seeing things happening that's unbelievable. Unbelievable. A container is your ability to receive without panic, to manage without chaos, to expand without losing yourself. Your income cannot exceed your internal organization. I'll say that again. You may want to write this down. Your income cannot exceed your internal organization, which means that the amount of money that you make is all dependent on your level of consciousness. It's dependent on your level of consciousness, ladies and gentlemen. And if 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 that in fact is true, that my income cannot exceed my internal organization, then I have to go within and readjust my internal organization. If your mind is cluttered, money will not stay. If your life is in disorder, wealth will feel unsafe. This is why alignment always precedes abundance. Alignment, alignment is very powerful. That's why before we start our sessions every week, we do a spiritual mind treatment, because we want to be in alignment. Alignment says that we are connected, we are locked in. Alignment is very powerful. I'll give you an example of alignment. Alignment is the Christmas time. You pull the lights out the box, and you plug up the lights and, every other one works or every two work, and you're just like, oh man. So then you try to change the bulbs to fix the lights and it just doesn't work. But it's an amazing feeling, and it's so amazing when you plug in those Christmas lights and they're all in alignment and they all come on and they all light up. Same thing with you in your life. When you're in alignment, everything clicks, everything's locked in, and you really get into a place of understanding the role in life. You know, um, there have been plenty of people who have come to me for consultations and said, you know, it, they've come for one thing and we ended up getting them in alignment. What do you mean, Issachar? I mean by them understanding their purpose in life, their destiny. There's many people who are lost, who don't have a sense of direction, a sense of who they are. And so I try to make sure that they're in the right place, that they're in alignment. And once they come into that alignment, it just clicks, it just locks in. And so that's what we do here, ladies and gentlemen, at the Temple of Enlightenment. We yes, we want you to become the best version of yourself, but we also want you to grow and expand. We want you to lock in. We want you to be in alignment because we understand purpose, we understand destiny, and we understand the powers of manifestation and the powers of being able to create your own reality. You know, we live in a world today, ladies and gentlemen, where you can be anything you want to be. You can be anything you want to be. Anything you want to be, you can be. And so, how about being wealthy? How about being rich? How about being successful? How about being healthy? And I think that it's extremely imperative that we lock ourselves into that wealth consciousness, that consciousness that allows us to expand and grow. It takes us to the next level. I think it's amazing. You know, anytime we can lock in and really get ourselves into a better place, a better level of understanding. Listen, um, the ability to create your own reality is unbelievable. It is. It is something that I feel separates us because a lot of people don't know that they can live the life that they want to live. They don't have to accept what life has given them. They don't have to stay where they are in drama and lack, loss, and limitation. But at any given moment, they can make the shift and they can shift over to the life that they want to live. And I just think that that's so amazing. Now, I know some of you have heard me say this tonight, this morning, this afternoon, and you're saying, um, why would he mention the nervous system? The nervous system sets your income ceiling. Money does not bypass the body. If your nervous system associates wealth with danger, loss, conflict, responsibility, trauma, then abundance triggers survival mode. You may receive money, but you cannot keep it. The wealthy nervous system feels safe with increase. This is learned. This is trained. This is cultivated. You know, the nervous system really allows you to, it's very important system of the body. Um, many a times we, um, see things happening with that. If there's something wrong with the nervous system, it can throw off a lot of things. But remember, everything happens from within. And if you can tap into that wealth consciousness from within, I think that you'll see something and move into something that's phenomenal. You know, it'd absolutely be phenomenal for you to move into that. Systems, systems. Save yourself time, energy, and money. SYSTEM. Systems. Save yourself time, energy, and money. Um, many people are learning now here at the Enlightenment Center. Those of you about the importance of a system. Do you have a system in place? I think that there's no greater time like the presence. Many people are working on their vision boards. Many people are, getting themselves prepared for the new year. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to accomplish. And I think it's wonderful. I think that the only person that can stop you is you. It's not about what the government is doing. It's not about what's going on in the world. I think the only person that can stop you is you. And in the midst of that, I think it's imperative that we operate in this wealth consciousness. Why do you want to work with this wealth consciousness? And why do you keep talking about all this money stuff in the car? What are you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, if we don't shift into this wealth consciousness, into this consciousness of increase, this consciousness of abundance, this consciousness of prosperity, we're going to be lost. We're going to be left behind. We're not going to be able to maintain and be in the know. Um, and there's no greater opportunity than now. So I just believe that there's some greatness inside of each one of us. You know, believe it or not, everything you need was already placed inside of you. You know, even these teachings every week, as I say all the time, I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. I'm not telling you anything that's brand new. I'm only reminding you of who you are. These lessons are lessons of remembrance to awaken you to remember who you are. You know, almost like a person who has amnesia, who's lost all the who doesn't remember anything about their lives, and so their loved ones have to uh, bring them into a level of remembrance of of who they are. I was watching a movie the other day. I can't think of it. It's with Russell Crowe, and he had amnesia. He got into an accident, and in his apartment, he had everything. He had his name. He had a sign for what a bathroom was. He had a sign of who his doctor was, what medications he takes. But he had all of this stuff out there so that he could remember and remind himself of what's what and who's who. And so these lessons are only reminding you of who you are. They're reminding you of who you are. When your identity shifts, it will unlock the money. You stop asking, how do I get money? And begin asking, how must I think, move, decide, and speak to become a person? Money trust. Wealth trust clarity. Wealth trust decisiveness. Wealth trusts boundaries. Wealth trusts leadership. Money does not follow hustle. It follows authority. It follows authority. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you are an authority. You are an authority figure. You're wealthy. You're successful. You know, I've seen people that I've talked to, and as soon as we start talking about wealthy and people that got money, and we talk about money, they start talking about other people. Automatically, I say to them, did you see what just happened? We're talking about money and wealth, and you just automatically separated yourself from that. You need to be included in that conversation, not to separate yourself from it, but you need to be included. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not a destination. You are a channel. When money cannot move through you, generosity collapses, investments stop, creativity stalls, stress increases. But when you see yourself as circulation, money flows because stagnation repels wealth, movement manipulates it. Now, what I said, the wealth you're seeking is seeking you. Everybody has a different level of wealth because it all depends on your level of consciousness. Remember, your income cannot exceed your internal organization. That's got to be the aha moment for the day, ladies and gentlemen. My income cannot exceed. So if there's somebody here today that says, you know what, I need to make more money, I need to make more income. Um, and if you're not making the amount of income that you want to make, if you're not making the amount of money that you want to make, then you have to take a look at that internal organization because it will never exceed that. The version of wealth that you seek is seeking you. The version of you. But you know what version of you? The version of you that does not negotiate with fear, that does not shrink for comfort, does not apologize for growth, does not explain purpose, does not beg for permission. The kind of person that desire, that makes a decision, that knows how to move, that knows how to hold posture. They expand capacity first, then income follows automatically. When you move into a level of identity, you know, it's really simple. Um, I really need to put out that wealth codes book um, because I think that the wealth codes really help you to identify uh, how you can make money in this incarnation and how you can really um, move and operate. I think in the money manifestation mindset series here on our YouTube channel, um, there is a section. One of the Sundays we talked about the wealth codes. Uh, I would advise you to go ahead and take a listen to it and really start working with it. Um, those of you that have gotten consultations with me, you know that that's something that I've strongly emphasize is the wealth code. It will show you how to make money in this incarnation because we're not the same. So yes, I'm talking about wealth consciousness. I'm talking about that your income cannot exceed your internal organization. But everybody's approach to doing that is going to be different because everybody's not the same. So that's why learning who you are, self awareness, is vitally important because the way that I am going to accumulate wealth is not going to be the same way that you accumulate wealth because we're not the same person. So I'm going to show you based on how you are genetically made, genetically put together, how to do that best fits you. Remember, everybody in life is dealt a hand. It doesn't matter how good or bad that hand that you were dealt is. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is how well you play that hand to win in the game of life. And so that's what I do. I try to show people the hand that they were dealt, and then also how to play that hand to win. So I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about everything that's happening in this lifetime for those who are connected to us. Um, Listen, the days ahead of us will be of great importance, um, great notoriety, um, and definitely a great alarm to most of us. But in the midst of those, the thing that I see that's very interesting is that I can do, I can have all that life has for me, and the only person that can stop me is me. The only person that can stop you from being a millionaire is you. You know, somebody said to me the other day, they were saying, I want my kids to go to college, and I said, you want them to go to college for what? What do you want them to take? And they mentioned some things, and I said, well, we're moving into a time now where a lot of jobs are going to be obsolete due to AI and just the things that are happening. I said, one of the things that I would, recommend is that you start teaching your children how to become entrepreneurs, teaching them how to make money and how to invest and really how to allow money to circulate. Um, I said because we're in a different time now. There's a lot of college graduates who are unemployed. There's a lot of college graduates who are trying to find their way, and they're doing something totally different than what they went to school for, and so the entrepreneur, the person who thinks, who wants to create their destiny, because you got to realize, okay, I went to college, I got my degree, I'm going to college because they told me that if I go to college, I get more money. It opens doors for me, so forth. But one of the most important things, and I think there's nothing wrong with school. School is amazing. Um, I I went to school, so I understand that. But I want you to understand the level of consciousness of understanding your destiny, your purpose. That you know nobody can stop you. Understanding the levels of mind and consciousness and prosperity, success, and that I can have, be, and do all of my heart desires, and nobody can stop me. I think when you allow that to click in your mind and you really understand the power that you possess, oh man, you really see things really unfold. And so I just think that it's extremely imperative that we look at that. Money is not your future. Yeah, money is not in your future. It is in your alignment. The moment you identify as wealthy, as successful, as prosperous, your identity stabilizes at a higher level. Wealth detects you because wealth is not blind, it is intelligent. It is searching, not for talent, not for struggle, not for effort, but for readiness. Wealth is always looking for readiness. Listen, I think that one of the things that I find very interesting is that when you're ready to make moves and you're ready to go to the next level, nobody has to push you. Nobody has to motivate you. Nobody has to inspire you. It's almost like the old timers used to say, when you get tired of being tired of being tired of being tired, and then now when you get to that point, you want to do something. I don't force anybody to do anything. I just make my resources available. Those of you that want to have a consultation with me, you can click the link in the description and get a consultation. I never really force you or ridicule you or anything like that. Whenever you're ready to do that. Now, when you do that, it also comes into contact with yes. I've had people who have come to me and we've laid out everything. You have to do the work. If you don't want to do the work, then you have to realize that yes, getting the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding of what to do and how to do it is great, but you still got to apply it to your life, ladies and gentlemen. We got to apply it, and once you apply it, you see some unbelievable things happening. These teachings, these golden nuggets that we get every week, if you start applying these things to your life, and I believe that if you're with us every week and you listening to this, it's impossible for your life not to change because you are allowing these thoughts, these concepts, these ideologies to go into your mind, and you're allowing them to increase and to expand and to grow. And if in fact that's true, then yes, we have some things that we need to do and get in place. And so I'm forever grateful of the journey that it takes to get to this place. I understand that, you know, I am becoming the virgin wealth recognizes. My identity is expanding before my income. I am safe with increase. Money trusts my clarity. Wealth moves towards my order. I am capable. I am a capable container. I do not chase money. I calibrate to it. What seeks me finds me ready. I hold wealth with wisdom. I circulate value freely and confidently. The wealth I seek is seeking me, not because I desire it, but because I am becoming someone who can hold it. The wealth I seek is seeking me. And ladies and gentlemen, I really hope that you got something out of today as you listen to this and get an understanding of the understanding of wealth, the understanding of When you hear the word wealth, there's no separation between you and wealth. Don't automatically go and think about people who we consider to be wealthy, because you're you, you're in the conversation too. And the more that you think about it, and the more you put yourself in the conversation, guess what? Things are going to start happening. You're going to start seeing things that you never saw before. You're going to start hearing things that you never heard before. And you'll say, wait a minute, this stuff has been in front of me all the time. But you never recognized it because you wasn't on that level yet. And now that you're on the wealth consciousness, your eyes are open. You're seeing things that you never saw before. You're getting involved. You're getting relationships and concepts. And you're building your relationships. And when this happens, your life is going to change, because now you're moving and growing and elevating into a whole nother place. And so it's really going to enhance you, and it's going to grow. So once again, I wanted to just drop a little something on you this week to all of you in the United States who are affected by this winter storm. Once again, we want to send you much love and light, and let you know that we're here at the Enlightenment Center. If you want to schedule a consultation with me to see what's going on in your life, and maybe not you, maybe a loved one, and maybe somebody who you really care about, and you may say, hey, listen, I want to get a consultation for them because there's some things going on with them, and I think they need some direction, and I think they need to find their purpose, then you can do that. Also, there's some of you that say, you know what, Issachar, man, I really want to be a blessing to your channel, your ministry, your group, and you can definitely do that. There's 4 ways that you can give into this ministry. The first way is going to be Cash App, $TOESC. Once again, that's $TOESC. And then we also have we have PayPal and Zelle. PayPal and Zelle are going to be info, INFO at TOESC.org. It's going to be INFO at TOESC.org. And then we also have Venmo. Venmo is going to be our email address, Issachar Bey, ISSACHARBEY, Issachar Bey, at gmail.com. And you can you can email, and you can do your Venmo. Now, in the description is also our address if you want to send physical items. If you want to send a check or money order, you can make it out to the Temple of Enlightenment. And I want to thank all of you for all your blessings, anything that you give. We believe that all of those who sow into our ministry, who give to our organization, we speak it into existence that you will receive a 100-fold return. We believe that this power of circulation, that the blessing circulates back to its original plane of origin. And so we believe in the power of circulation and how the blessings circulate back to you. And so we definitely want to bless those and pray for those who have sold into us. I want to thank all of you for your consistency. Please hit the like button if you can. And once again, we're sending much love and light to all of those who are in the storm, who are affected by the storm, your loved ones. And we want you to know that better days are coming. I also want to say this one thing. Your destiny is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of choice. And I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.